literally such a chaotic week this week. So literally this morning I had my 8:30 to 9 meeting like normal. Okay, that's fine. But then I had a meeting that I made at 10:30 today, which is fine, I guess, because I mean, it's my meeting. So like, I know exactly what's happening in this meeting and that the people who I'm inviting are relevant to the meeting and stuff like that, you know, because I hate when like I'm invited to meetings that I'm not even relevant in. So yeah, I don't do that. I don't invite people who are not relevant to the meeting, but yeah. But the thing is, I wanted to ask the chief of my company a question so that I could talk about it in my meeting, but then I was spent all morning, like 9 to 10:30, looking for the chief, and I couldn't find him anywhere. So I didn't get to like fully talk about that in my meeting, but yeah. And I still didn't get the chance to talk to him, but yeah. My meeting was, I set it for like 10:30 to 11:30, and then a guy in my meeting had his own meeting 11:30 to 11:45. But my meeting ended short, so then we did his meeting after, of course. Yeah. So it's like 3:30 and I'm like just chilling, like I don't know, I don't have like too much to do really. And I have my meeting at 4, so yeah. So then I messaged my PM friend and I'm like, busy? And then she's like, just working on stuff at my desk. And then she said, smoke break? Because it's a joke that we have, because a bunch of people at my company like to take smoke breaks like a lot. So we're like, oh, you want to take a smoke break? But neither of us smoke, so yeah. And I was like, coming. So then we took a smoke break, which is really just a break. We don't smoke. I told her my little scheme because basically over the weekend and stuff, I've been like scheming, not like in a bad way. So on July 9th, the customer was supposed to come to our place and get like a tour and then ask questions about stuff, I guess. Yeah. But then the plans went all haywire and stuff, because then they're all like, oh, I want you guys to come to our place, and then our person will follow you to your site and then carry on from there. The customer was telling us now to go to their place on the same day that the customer was supposed to come to our place. So we were all confused and stuff, but we got to the point where my company's people were going to go to their place to like train, and then after that, then their person's going to follow us back to our place and then, you know, do the stuff, the tour, and then the question and answer thing. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to continue my story from yesterday while I do my hair. So basically, I had my 4 to 5 meeting, and yeah, and then in that meeting and stuff, then like towards the end, my boss was all like, oh, like, anybody have anything and stuff like that. And then the guy who sits next to me in the desk area, he was all like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be on like PTO on Friday. And then they started talking about this audit happening on Friday, and since this guy is going to be on PTO, obviously he's not going to be there for the audit. So then my boss turned to me and he's like, oh, can you step in for that guy? And I was like, yeah. So now I have to go to this audit on Friday, so fun. Yeah. And then it ended late, as always. Not like that late, but like late enough that like, because it's a 4 to 5 meeting. It ended after 5, so you know, you just want to leave. So I was leaving and stuff, and yeah, so I'm in a 90 degree angled spot. It's not angled. I'm in a 90 degree spot. Then I like turn out, and then as I'm turning out, because you know, you're supposed to look both ways to see if somebody's coming or anything like that. On my left side, I saw my coworker, who I'm closest with, out of the engineers, walking, and then he was also like waving, but like I didn't know what he was doing, so then I just, you know, carried on, just turned and pulled away. And then I look in my rearview mirror, and then he's like running and like waving, and then I'm like what is happening? And then my neighbor is like standing in like a grassy patch because he's waiting for his carpool to come. So then he's like waving at me too now. And then I roll my window down because I have to drive past him. And then he's like, oh, that guy is looking for you. And then I'm like, okay, like, fine. So then I go find a parking spot, and this guy is still like running and waving behind my car. And yeah, and then I pull over, and then my neighbor sees me pull over, and then he tells the guy who's like way back there that I pulled over. So yeah. So then he comes over like out of breath and stuff, and then he's like, you didn't tell me that this customer was coming. And then I'm like, yeah, I did. I told you last week, and guess it just slipped your mind. Yeah. But yeah, I've never had anybody running and chasing after my car while I'm driving, so but it was funny. And everybody in the parking lot saw, because then my friend from college who sits behind me, because we left at the same time, but then he forgot something, so he went back in, but he still saw this guy running and chasing after my car. So who sits behind me, my friend from college, texted me, and he's all like, why was that guy running and chasing your car? That's just so funny. But yeah. And then someone's calling me. Hold on. Okay, I don't know who called me, because I thought my phone was like glitching, and like someone who I had a contact for was calling me, but then my phone was just glitching and just showing just the number. And I obviously don't know, everybody's like numbers memorized, but I don't know who it was. But anyways, yeah. Okay, they left a voicemail. I checked the voicemail. It's the chief of my company. He called me, and I don't have his phone number saved, so oops. But I saw his email anyways, but yeah.
So we'll be there by like 9:45.
$12:35. I just got to my car for lunch. Me and the quality guys meeting ended this morning at 9ish and 9:05. And then the other guy had his meeting 9 to 9:30, but he was gonna not go to it and stuff like that. But apparently he was like taking care of things and looking for me and the guy who was in the same meeting as me. But then me and the guy in my meeting were looking for him, and then we couldn't find him, and we can't find him anywhere, and we're just like, oh my gosh, like we can't find him, and we're supposed to be carpooling together. Yeah. So then we were both like looking around all over the place, and yeah, we split up. And then the quality guy said, I'm gonna go take a smoke break. And then I said, okay, I'm gonna go look in this area. And then yeah, and then that guy's like, oh, okay, meet at my car. I'm parked at the second lobby. So then I'm like, if I find him, then okay. So yeah, so I went into like the PM area, and then I was talking to my PM friend who was talking to the chief, and then I was like, have you guys seen this guy? And then the chief is like, oh, he's going to the customer site. And then I'm like, yeah, we're supposed to be carpooling together, but we can't find him. And then he's like, uh-oh, like, you should call him. But like, I don't have people's phone numbers really at work, because I don't want people calling me and stuff. No thanks. So yeah, but then I left the PM area, and then he was coming into the PM area. So then I found him, and I'm like, he's gonna go take a smoke break, but let's go meet at his car. That's what he said. So we were just chilling and stuff at like the outside the lobby, waiting for this guy to finish his smoke break. And then by the time we left, it was like 9:17, and we were supposed to be at the customers at 9:30. So yeah, so then the guy, not the guy who took the smoke break, the other guy called the customer and was all like, oh, like the meeting ended late, so we're coming now, so we'll be there in like 20 minutes, so like 9:45. And yeah, and then we were driving and stuff, and then there were 2 accidents on 880. So yeah, so we ended up there at like 9:52. So yeah, and then we parked, and then the guy was like already waiting at the door. But yeah, and then we went inside, and then we met the people. We learned how to do the thing we were doing, or kind of learned how to do the thing we were supposed to learn how to do, like just the basics. But this is like a prototype and has flaws, so we're not building prototype phase 1, but probably phase 2, but we're not there yet. And we were there from like 9:55 to like 10:50 maybe, and then it was like time to leave, and then the customer was like, do you guys want to grab lunch? And then the PM guy's like, yeah, sure, but he looked like he didn't know how to answer. And then he looked at me, and then I'm like, actually I have like some stuff I have to take care of first, but you guys go ahead. But like, we're carpooling together, so like how's this gonna work? I don't know. But yeah, but then the PM guy just like flipped, and he's all of a sudden like, oh yeah, I have stuff too. So then we declined the guy for lunch, which they could have gone to lunch without me, but yeah. And then our guy, the guy that went on a smoke break, said, okay, how about you come to our place at 2? And then the customer's like, how about 1? And then our guy is all like, okay, how about 1:30? really negotiating here. Yeah. And so then they said 1:30. And so then we got back to work at like maybe like 11:30, 11:45 or so. And then, as I said, I took care of some things, and yeah, and now I'm in my car for lunch. Gonna eat my lunch and then head inside and yeah, see how this goes. Fun. My friend from college, the guy who sits behind me, like messaged me because I was like texting him and stuff like on the drive there and back and stuff, and then he's like, wow, like you blocked off your whole calendar. And I'm like, well, I only blocked off part of it, but then the guy, not the guy who went on the smoke break, blocked off the rest of it. So like, yeah, but I really hope that the customer doesn't stay till 5 o'clock, because my calendar is literally blocked 9 to 5. Yeah, my calendar's never blocked this much, but yeah. Okay, done with my 40-minute lunch, so gonna head back inside because it's 1 almost 20 and the customer is gonna be here at 1:30. So here we go again. I forgot where I left off. Okay, basic. In like the middle of the training, I guess, then the PM from my company, since we were standing next to each other, he like looked at me and then he asked me like, do you need to take notes on this? And then I was like, no, that's okay. I got it all. Because if you know me, I have like not a photographic memory, but like when I know something and I remember it, then I like will know it for a long time. So yeah, the tour was from like 1:30 to 2:30, and then after that we went to a conference room, and this customer grilled us on this list of questions he had for us from like 2:30 to 4. And then afterwards, so basically while I was doing this, then I was chatting somebody who was asking me questions and stuff, the junior PM, and then I was like confused with what she was saying. So then I after that meeting, then I went to go talk to her about the questions she was asking. We were confusing each other and stuff. And yeah, and then yeah, clarified things and figured things out. And yeah, we talked for maybe like 20 to 30 minutes. But we got everything settled, I think. But yeah, and then my PM friend came back because I was sitting in her chair and stuff. But yeah, then my PM friend came back, and speaking of something else, 2 people just got let go like yesterday. Well, I think one like voluntarily left, and then the other one got let go, like fired, because of a tone of voice he was using. But anyways, yeah. So then I talked to my PM friend and stuff, and then I left, and then I walked out the double doors, and then I was gonna go take the long way around to get to my desk, just like exercise, you know. And yeah, and then as I was exiting those two doors, the other set of double doors to like the office area, one of my friends who I'm closest to was exiting those doors, and then I was like, what are you doing? And then he's like, what are you doing? And then I was like, the customer's gone now. But yeah, but then we walked around the long way, so the way that guy came. And yeah, and we were talking and stuff, and then we ran into the chief, and then the chief is like, what are you guys doing? And then my friend was like, we're going to a meeting to talk about this customer and this customer. Which the thing is, like, because he said two different customer names, we wouldn't be having a meeting about both customers at the same time. So yeah, but basically my neighbor, I'm covering for him while he's on PTO, and he's on PTO on Friday. So, and on Friday there's an audit, so someone has to cover. So I'm going to the audit for a customer that I don't know that much about. But yeah, so then we brought that up because he's like, because one of the customers was mine that my friend mentioned, and then the second one is the one of my neighbors, the one who is having an audit on Friday. So then the chief was like staring like, what? And then I'm like, yeah, I have to go to the audit. And then he's like, oh, like, yeah. And he didn't think I really had to go, but yeah. And then we carried on, and yeah, then I saw this other guy leaving, and then who's a technician. And then as we were walking down the hallway, then we were talking about stuff and how he's kind of annoyed because basically this other guy is like not paying attention or distracted, or I don't know, but yeah, but keeps on taking all the credit, which is annoying. But yeah, and then as we're standing there in the hallway, then the chief walks by again, and then he says hi, and then